Genevieve, you are far from home. You have wanted to live a simple life, and have surrounded yourself with what you feel are good people. You've been thrust into things that you never expected to be, and whatever your future was has been changed irrevocably. People's futures change. Sometimes they begin anew, and sometimes they end. And now the dice shall decide your fate. Sometimes people do crazy things. Sometimes people go against what they think is the best course of action because their heart draws them somewhere else. Oftentimes, these actions can cost us dearly. You went through great lengths to do things that you thought were right. And you did it for the person that was at your side. One of the few people in your life that did not leave you behind. Even now, you were not left behind. Genevieve, your body feels very heavy. It gets very hard to see. The lights around your eyes begin to dim. As you begin to slowly ebb, you'll find the strength to speak a few words.
We're going home, right?
Yes, Flower. We are.
And we'll take Sigurd's blade home, right?
Of course.
Everyone else is going, right?
Everyone's going. You and I.
Then I can rest on the way there.
Yeah. Take all the time you need.
It'd be nice to rest for a little bit. I think I've seen too much.
You haven't seen enough. Too young.
Lived longer than you have.
You're still young for enough.
Never much felt like one. It's a good time to rest.
Why are you talking like that?
Eskel, as you say this, the eyes become more focused. The body begins to sink slowly. And Genevieve looks at you with love-filled eyes. You know that she's in pain, but you do not see it on her face. You are her entire world. And slowly, she leaves the world as the world leaves her. And her eyes gently close. And the woman that you loved is no more.
No. Flo. Come on. No, this isn't the time to rest. Come on. I protect you, you protect me. Come on.
We will always be family, Timothy.
Don't you dare fucking leave me.
Pause. Sergeant Jensen, you have come from a long ways away. You have stood with people that you never thought that you would. People from all sorts, different lives, places, species. From being a lowly scribe guard to leading men in battle. You have done far more than ever you thought you would. You have gone far. Strength and courage. Holding yourself to an honor that most don't have. But not even honor can keep everyone alive. And now the dice shall decide your fate. Jensen, as you tried to lead the group that you did, you had given stout commands. You had tried to be their strength, even though fear was in your belly. You had never had to do anything like this before. No matter how insurmountable the odds were, you kept driving forward, and the only reason you did not feel guilt is because when you led from the front. Leading from the front, however, can cost someone. You have taken many grievous wounds. A lance pierced your armor and into your flesh. And even now you can hear the rhythmic drips of blood from your plates to the floor. But whether it is by Mithrax himself or sheer luck, by one digit you will not die today.
Their name is Leonda.
Leandre saved my fucking life.
Leonda, you have been stationed here for some time. You've spent a great deal of time looking for your daughter, not knowing where she was. Not knowing what befell the nurse that you had come to love so much. Time in, time out, you traveled away from your post when you had leave, to try and find the missing part of your heart, having given up on love a long time ago. Your daughter was all that really mattered. Wherever Kells is, you are not sure. However, every journey can cost us greatly. And every journey can wear us down, wear our bodies, our tools, our minds. But sometimes the wear and tear is too much. Now we will see if you are able to hold up. And now the dice shall decide your fate. Leandra, as the blood pools around your legs as it drips out from the cracks in your armor, you eye the wound from the Imperial lance. You think of all the things that could have been, might have been. But one thing keeps surfacing to you as your limbs get heavy, as your arms slowly slide down to the floor. Someone out there must know. Someone out there must know where or why. You cannot help but picture whether it is a mother's love or stubbornness born of a mercenary iron wolf. You will not die yet, and the search will continue.
check.
Loss is what brought you to Adwick. Loss of important people. You came to Adwick trying to find what happened to them, where they went. The news that you had received was painful, to say the least. It's been hard to have a purpose ever since they faded away. Even now, in the back of your head, you wonder, what could possibly have drawn you here other than that? You glance around the room and you realize, while you can't replace the family that's lost, there are some faces here you've seen that have plunged in front of you to take swords, and that you have done the same for. While one cannot choose their family, they can always choose their friends and those they call family. But sometimes not even family is enough to shave off death. And now the dice will decide your fate. You heard about Xavier's death. You heard about what happened to his family, to the people that you knew, that you cared of. You never were a fighting man. You've learned to fight, sure. But you never aspired to be a fighting man. You never enjoyed killing. In fact, though you won't admit it to those around you, you were afraid today many times. But it was because those to your left and right could not stand alone that drove you forward. Much like an adventurer would. You kept moving forward, hanging on to that one thread of hope. But many times hope is not enough, and it leads fools to their death. As you look down at the lifeblood seeping between your hands from the lance wound, you realize that you have traveled to places you never thought you would and fought people and things you never thought you'd see. But you still have a story to tell. There are those who traveled far stranger places than you that you're looking for that are missing. You have to find them. You will not die yet.
They do indeed, Zach. They really do. I'm glad that you're here.
How did you wind up here, you wonder? Such a violent and ugly place, where all people do is try to kill one another. You had been content in Adwick, sure. You didn't have a lot of copper, sure. Sometimes you had a roof over your head. But you had people that you could trust. You had some that you cared for. And one that made you smile more than others. But somehow the world drags us along no matter what we plan, no matter where we want to go. Sometimes we're able to hide from our problems. Sometimes we're able to hide from the things that will hurt us the most. But nobody can hide forever. And now the dice shall decide your fate. There was a lot of blood in the grass on the way here. You smelled the iron in the air, and you saw the bodies, but you tried not to look at them. You've always had an imaginative, inquisitive mind. You pictured it without the bodies, you pictured it without the blood, you pictured it without the fires. But what you enjoyed most is picturing it when it is fully bloomed. You saw the flowers, the tall blades of grass, wet with dew from a recent rain. It's how you calmed yourself. It's how you kept the fear and the pain away. You press your hand to your side, and it is warm and sticky. The smell of copper again fades the bloomed flowers away as you see the deep red on your hand. You breathe and you realize that there's a pain to it. Though your body is starting to grow cold and numb, the pain doesn't bother you much. You thought you would be afraid when this happened. You thought that you would be terrified. But here, huddled into a corner, surrounded by people who were just as bewildered to be here as you, that fought to keep you alive, that you, the smallest thing, using your feet to reload a crossbow, covered them from afar. But all the good intentions and love and kindness in the world is not enough sometimes. Be as you continue to hold at your wound, you will begin to fade. You have lost too much blood, and your body has taken a great deal of damage. You will find the strength to say a few words.
That's okay. Remember, bees die after they sting.
Yeah, they do. You stung like a son of a bitch.
Remember, it was always gonna be this way.
A being.
A bee for every flower.
The hand grasping yours feels weak. Some of the fingers start to slowly loosen. As it falls gently to the ground, and the vibrant, colorful eyes of B close for the last time.
Damn it. Damn it.
Some of the older of your kin, they'd call you a southerner by now. We've been in the South for so long. Whatever your goals were, you know fully well you were sidetracked. You found the perfect diversion, something that went from a diversion to your whole life, your whole world. You realized every Northman has a rage, whether it is inherent or burns within them from birth, you do not know. But there was only one person who had calmed that rage, who made you start to appreciate the things that you overlooked in a life of struggle, fighting, war. Soft song. Love changed who you were, Northman. While you retained your strong, sharp edge, your heart grew soft. Instead of fighting for yourself, you fought for another. But putting yourself out for another can cost you dearly. And while love can give, it can also take away. We will see now what this love has done to you. And now the dice shall decide your fate. Your body feels heavy, but rest is good. You have been fighting for so long. You look over to the right and you realize she's too far away. You gently pull her closer, knowing that she is nearby. A comfort that you find. She is cold already, and it hurts, but there is no pain on her face. She is at peace, and the very last thing that she ever saw was you. And while your soul is heavy with that thought, you know that the burden of death is left to those who survive. But whether it is a curse or a blessing, your burden will not last long. You look down at the wound from the lens as you attempted to drag the halfling away. More blood you have spilt for others rather than yourself. You don't care. You feel so empty when you look away from your face. You have struggled and fought, and the one thing that had started to give it purpose has left on a journey without you. You have fought enough for 5 lifetimes. You have shown the South what a Northman is. You have fought orcs hand to hand. You have fought trolls. You have fought ogres. You have traversed territory that others would be too afraid to. No. With that, you are satisfied. You blink a couple times as your eyesight becomes blurry. Your arm around the woman that you loved slowly growing slack, even though you did not tell it to. Your hand on your wound begins to loosen as you lean back and pull your axe closer to your body. One arm around the woman you love, and one arm around your weapon, as every northerner would go. You sit straight up, planting your back against the wall as if you were taking first watch. And you scan once around the room, looking every person in the eye, making sure that they know that they lived because a Northman deemed it. Satisfied that your face and name will not be forgotten, the weakness begins to take over, but you do not show it. As your hand slowly slides down your axe, your eyes begin to close, and it looks merely as if you'd fallen asleep. You leave the world, and it leaves you.
Pascal? Pascal?
Stop.
Reminder that he is
Pascal
Pascal.
takes first
I'd say after all this, he deserves this.
I bet he does.
It's part of a good story. You have traveled from a small little village on the edge of a forest.
This is
You
it.
lost your family to an orcish scourge that no one should ever have had to suffer. You have heard that they have showed their face again, and this has made a normally patient and loving man's blood boil. You have not been much of a fighter your whole life, and you have not been violent, Soma. But you cherish the day that you sunk a dagger into Arkoth the Hunter's eye to remind him that one day you'll be back. Revenge and vengeance has always been in the back of your head at that beast. But the forefront of your mind has always been good-natured and loving and willing.
I am
Sometimes
shaking.
a willingness to do good and spread good in the world is not enough. And now the dice shall decide your fate. You were never meant to fight no war. It was never your profession. It was never something that you wanted to do. As you stand surveying the losses in the room and the injured who look to you for treatment, your eyes glance down to your own body. A tear in your side. A brown tunic stained with blood, your blood. And the deep puncture of a lance. Incredible, you think. No matter what you do, somehow you always bleed. Very conscious of the scar upon your throat and the many upon your face. You have done nothing but try to help and aid. Somehow you're always battered and bruised for it. But that cynical thinking diminishes as you look around the room and realize there is hardly one person that you haven't tried or have kept up to this point alive. From the walls of Ledford, from the caves of Ledford, to the crime-riddled, bloody streets of Adwick, you have survived so much. Your eyes grow a little blurry and your knees feel weak. You find yourself leaning against a pillar behind you, so you do not topple over. All the good intentions in the world are not enough to stop steel.
This is it.
However, while the pain courses through you, you let the sentiment leave your mind as you look at your wound. No. You can ball up some cloth and stuff it in. You'll slow the bleeding. Treat yourself later. There are patients that need you. There are survivors that need you. And there is a beast out there that needs slaying. You will not die yet.
Oh, that's incredible.
Is that everything?
That is it.
Okay, I need a moment. Please take
That's
a
a little bit of all the cloth can't fix.
Someone, a cloth, something.
Fucking angels,
Cloth. Now, whatever you have.
God, I hate ending stories. And I know it's part of it.
2, 3, just pack it in. Oh, fuck.
I know it's part of it, but I hate it.
It has been a long time since you've been home. Home being Ledford. You try not to think of how that ended, but instead of how you met so many people that you still spend your time with today. A lot of them go about their day and they might not talk to you much, but when you catch their eye, they wave and they look happy. Enjoy their interactions with you. You never really knew why or understood it, but you enjoyed it. At times you remembered living outside of the walls of Ledford and tending to your farm along with what had remained of your family. And while it didn't bring in a lot of copper, you had a roof, you had food, you had the ones you loved. When the Empire invaded, you never understood why. You've never understood why they hated so much, why they want people like you dead. You just love being alive. There's so many things to eat and see, so many different ponds to skip rocks on, so many different trails to explore, ruins to delve, the things that hobbits do. When that family and farm was taken from you, you had never felt more alone. But you found a new family surrounded by those who have bled for you and carried you countless times. Sometimes our past can make us hesitate. Sometimes painful memories, no matter how loving or happy you are as a person, can slow our feet. Hesitation can be a fool's errand. Now we will see what your hesitation has cost you. Now the dice shall decide your fate.
No, you've gotta be kidding! Come on! How? I can grieve in a second. You scurry yourself backwards, trying to get a better look at the room. You hear a lot of sounds and people talking, and you don't want to miss it. While it's painful, you know it doesn't hurt too much. You want to know what's going on and see what everybody's up to. You hear a lot of emotions in the room, some relieved, some sad. It's an overload for a small creature like you. As you sit around, you see some people looking at others with sadness in their eyes, and others with thankfulness in theirs. You don't know what the other people are sad about, but for those that are happy, you just are glad that they are. And that is a natural feeling for a hobbit. You've seen your fair share of pain and death. And while you didn't really comprehend it, you know that it's something that you come to dislike. Maybe not dislike. Dislike's a strong word for a hobbit. However, the people you've surrounded yourself with have shown you that while there are ups and downs, there's so much still that's worth living for, even after the loss of everything you loved. And these thoughts make you smile even now. While some view working the farm as hard, you love it. You get to plant every little fruit and every little vegetable. You pat the dirt around it, and sometimes you've never told the others But when you can't sleep, you've come out and you've sung to them to help them grow faster. You've always loved tending to the farm, the same as your family had shown you. But even one so full of love and life, with no expectations of the world around them, can grow weary, or at least their body can. You slowly realize that you don't feel pain anymore. It leaves your body bit by bit, which is good. You don't like pain, you never have. So it's comforting. You start wandering in your head, wondering how the others are doing in the castle. I hope they're doing well. You wonder if they have better food to eat than you guys have. You had a potato earlier, and it was... yeah. As you think these thoughts, Maya, you realize again, your body feels very tired and weak. You're not sure what this means, but you will have the strength to speak a few words.
I should have let Maple roll. I should have let him roll.
Maya?
Fuck. To show the DMs are tracking, she got a 1.
What's going on?
Slowly, the small creature is brought over next to two that she had looked up to, that had lived on the farm with her. As she looks around the room, a smile is still on her face, because she does not comprehend what is here. The world is full of beauty and smiles, but they cannot even keep death at bay. Without pain and without fear, Maya, slowly you will start to drift as the lights in your eyes begin to fade. You know you are close to Rascal and Genevieve, and nothing feels as bad as you thought it would. Looking at the people looking at you, you realize you were surrounded by friends. And with a smile on your face, you close your eyes for the last time.
I should have fucking let him roll. My always roll so fucking low. I want risk. I don't want everybody to get fucking murdered.
God damn it.
Oh, fuck, dude. I'm sorry, chat. I know how much I love my character. And I love DMing, and I've rolled death rolls for people before, and it's always hurt, but I hate it. I hate it. I hate when someone's there one moment and is gone the next. I'll be fine.
I didn't force you to do anything.
As you look around the room, the losses are undeniable. Friends, family, brothers and sisters. People who came from all different parts of life. It hurts. It is painful. Seeing the results of such struggle is hardship in its eternity. But one thought goes through every person's head here. The cost that took today to be a victory will reflect on what comes next. And that all of you have fought and suffered so others do not have to. And that is what makes you different from all of the rest. While there is pain in your heart, there is a small understanding that keeps it from sinking into guilt. And is that you did it when others could not. Live. It is your responsibility because they no longer can. That is the price. Live for those who can't and for those who have given you life. Between those that you lost back at the camp and those that lay amongst you here, live. The cannon fire will silence. The trebuchet fire, silence. The remaining batteries are silent. You hear distant horns from Oakenbrook. An allied rebel yell. Aralandis still hold the walls. As to how or why, you will have to find out in the future. But for now, you've done everything you can, and despite the pain, are victorious. Okay. I know I'm in shock too, dude. Like I joked around, talked a little shit here and there, but I loved Maya's character so much. They were so sweet and kind. And their interactions were just so fucking adorable, and they were so kind-hearted, because Flonica is fucking Maya. And it's so hard, because you know these people, and you're friends with them.
If I said something to Maya as Margaret, as a reference to season 1?
I would not mind at all. And seeing them die, it's like them dying. It hurts. The following is heard by no one except for a lingering spirit. Continue on.
There you are, little one. Come, let me get you home. There are others waiting for you.
At that point where I want to just scream in pain. Ugh. Ugh.
Goodbye, bye. See you soon. Don't always stress yourself, lad. Still need to be looked over.
Let's take you home. Oh, I love this roleplay and the people in it, but God, it hurts sometimes. I've always said FT is the story of common people. That they're not super soldiers, and they're not super powered. But somehow they always manage to do the impossible. And they make heroes out of themselves. Not even by doing anything fucking fancy or out of their means. It just...